Back with more on that killing of that gorilla. The Cincinnati police are now launching an investigation into the incident. Police are looking at everything and everybody, including the boy's parents and the zoo. Now, what kinds of charges could we possibly see? Former homicide detective and criminal defense attorney Ted Williams goes on the record. Ted, first of all, it's like, you know, my first eyes would be on the zoo. I mean, what kind of fence is there to prevent the public, or, you know, because children are, you know, they're unpredictable.
Well, you're absolutely right. I think Jack Hanna put it in place. He said that for 30 to 40 years there have been barriers, but the question is,
what kind of barrier?
And that's the big question. What kind of barrier? Greta, the big major question that everybody wants or is asking is, should the mother be charged? I think we have to step back, take the emotions out of this, and remember, kids will get away from parents in a nanosecond. And for this kid to get through that barrier, under that barrier, and get into that moat, I would have to look really at the zoo.
I agree. I mean, like, I totally agree. I mean, you know, parents, kids get lost all the time and break away. They're totally unpredictable. But the fencing, you know, does, you know, I would like to take a better look at the fence, because how does a 3- or 4-year-old child get over a fence? Well, we're not talking about an adult.
And, you know, I think we don't want to do too much of a postmortem. I believe that the zoo acted appropriately under the circumstances. But this was a beautiful, majestic, wonderful animal, and all of a sudden...
He was banging. I mean, I love animals, but he's banging that child around. I mean, it was inevitable. I mean, it's like, you know, what was going to happen. You can't keep slamming some kid's skull against the side of that cement.
And that's what Jack Hanna said, and I do agree with him. You couldn't take the chance. It was a human or the animal. It had to have been to save the human life under the circumstances.
Well, one animal rights group called Stop Animal Exploitation Now has already filed a negligence complaint against the zoo with the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and they're seeking a maximum penalty of $10,000.
Well, there have been one other instance that I'm cognizant of at that zoo where 2 bears got out of an area that they should not have been in, and the zoo...
Why did they get out? Was they get out because the fencing was inadequate, or someone left a door open?
Well, I think in that instance a door was left open. But look, we're dealing with wild animals. We're dealing with a zoo. You cannot take any chances if, in fact, you're an employee of that zoo. So it is very questionable. It's a very tragic incident all around, Greta.
Yeah, it's just terrible. And looking at this video, it's just horrifying. You know, this could be a completely different story tonight, a really ugly story where we're not talking about a gorilla having been shot, but a child, as everyone sat and watched.
And you are absolutely right. If that child would have been home, we would have been here today saying, why didn't that zoo act appropriately?
And like everybody else, I hate to see this beautiful animal, you know, shot and killed, but the child takes precedence. Anyway, now I'm going to ask the viewers. Now it's your chance, viewers. I want you to vote at home on Twitter. Was the zoo right to shoot that gorilla? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. We're going to show you your live Twitter votes throughout the show. Ted, your final thoughts?
It's a tragedy, Greta. There's going to be a lot of question marks as to whether we should even have these kind of majestic animals in zoos.
And whether we should have a zoo is what Charles Krauthammer says, whether we should have zoos. I think it would be a good time for us, for all the people who run zoos, to take a look at their own zoos and see if the design is just right. Anyway, Ted, thank you.